The injury bug has struck the Dallas Cowboys, starting with Terence Steele. Let's talk about how the Cowboys are going to make up for such a big-time injury with Steele now on injured reserve.
Isn't it ironic that Terence Steele is a big injury because he's been like a whipping boy for fans for a long time, but all of a sudden having quietly is a good way, not a lot of penalties, not giving up a lot of sacks. He's having a really good year, and all of a sudden it is a big loss for the Cowboys to miss their starting right tackle.
Yeah.
The good news is, this is where all you fans that say Jerry, the owner, should fire Jerry the GM. Jerry the GM that had the foresight to say maybe we should sign 40-year-old Jason Peters just in case. And now it's break glass in case of emergency. Now we need him.
Right.
But Tyron Smith's coming back. That shoves Tyler Smith, the left guard. Now you can plug in Jason Peters at right tackle. I mean, all of a sudden you've got some earth movers. You've got Zach Martin and Jason Peters on the same side. Again, you're going to miss Terence Steele. He had a great year, but thanks to some foresight and some depth and some, the injury bug giveth and it taketh away with Tyron Smith coming back. I don't expect there to be a big drop off now. Any more injuries and we got trouble, but this one I think they can sustain.
Yeah. We just came inside from Dallas Cowboys practice and everybody was looking at two things. First of all, the offensive line, as we just talked about.
Yep.
But secondly, T.Y. Hilton is out there practicing with the Cowboys. He's lining up with all the receivers,
Number
getting warmed
16,
up.
and you're like,
Number
okay.
16, he's going to have to change his Twitter handle. I'm pretty sure it's not, I think it's at T.Y. Hilton 13.
Yeah, there's a 13 in there. Michael Gallup's like, welcome to the team. I got this.
Yes.
He brings them experience. He brings them, again, he was a 1,500-yard, 90-catch guy. Now, we're talking 5 years ago, or he wouldn't be available, right? But James Washington kind of never made it because of an injury. Odell Beckham Jr. kind of never made it because of an injury. So
although not yet.
Right. Well, yeah. We'll talk about next year. James Washington's here, but not here. Odell's on his way. Ty is kind of maybe a stopgap. Maybe that's not doing him a disservice, but he can do the things both of those guys do better than James Washington. Probably not as good as OBJ at his height, but I think it's a great signing. Because, you got the Eagles with Linval Joseph and Ndamukong Suh. Yeah. They're adding to an already great team. Yeah. The Cowboys are like, we got to do something. So it's like these two teams, rivals, are like it's an arms race to see who can make a great team even better because they know they're going to meet at the end of the year and maybe even again in the playoffs. And T.Y. Hilton, he's going to make a big catch or two for this team, because they need another option. Amari Cooper, I don't know if you've heard, he's gone now for a fifth-round draft pick. We're going to forget about that. But this is the poor man's, Amari Cooper.
Okay, that makes sense. The Dallas Cowboys offense ranks first in the NFL in red zone scoring efficiency and third in the league in points per game. When we look at the Cowboys offense, though, is there an area that you're like, okay, they need to improve on this if they're going to make that deep playoff run?
When you're 10-3 and you're scoring points like they can, they've been scoring 40 points, even 50. Yeah. You're starting to nitpick, but let's nitpick, shall we?
Right. Well, it's easy to nitpick after you almost lose to the Texans.
Right. This is a good teaching tool.
This is a good time to nitpick.
I think Kellen Moore, for all his creativity, I think sometimes, and I've heard this from fans as well, it gets a little cute inside the red zone. When the 90s Cowboys, again, this is every Cowboys team gets measured by the team that won 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Right. When the Cowboys needed a yard, everybody, including the defense, knew they're going to run the ball and we can't stop them. The Cowboys don't have that mentality. They don't have that mindset. They've got Tony Pollard on an option. They've got some cross direction. And I think they tried to send this message in the Texans game. They were behind at halftime. They got the ball 9 consecutive runs. Right. They were trying to send a message, we can run this ball. And they got to the 1 yard line and then Zeke gets stopped on 1. Yeah. I love what they tried. Of course, you want the execution to get in the end zone, but I think they're trying to get that identity back, and that's what they need because there's going to be some bad weather games. There's going to be much better defenses, and it's Trickum Dickham's not really going to work. You've got to go Zeke, go get us a yard behind Tyron Smith or Jason Peters and Zach Martin, and the defense to do nothing about it. When they do that, this offense will be unstoppable.
So you're saying the way that the Cowboys offense gets better is to stop being so cute?
Yeah, be uglier.
Yeah, okay, I like that. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys defense, which has been a staple for the team this season. They've had a great season so far. But if you're going to nitpick, you could because the Houston Texans, the lowliest, the worst team in the NFL comes in, and Dallas defense had no answer for them. So on
Struggled.
a scale from 1 to 10, how concerned are you?
It's a 17-game season. There's going to be ups. There's going to be downs. I think this was more an emotional letdown. I think everybody here at the Star and even the Cowboys are like December 24th Eagles.
Right.
It's kind of like a kid, like Santa's coming.
Yeah.
Like blow off the last week of school. The
Right.
Cowboys blew off the last week of school.
Yeah, but
against
don't
the
forget
Texans.
the Jacksonville Jaguars are coming right
Yeah,
up too.
and there's another school coming this week. You're exactly right. But I think that was the wake up that'll keep them awake this week.
Right.
So I don't worry about the big picture. Like this defense all of a sudden has been exposed by the Texans. Has that ever been even said in the NFL? Can Davis Mills expose a defense? What I do worry about is the injuries. We talked about it on offense with the offensive line. But you looked out on that field last week in the third quarter and you're like, you know, we were there in Oxnard and the Cowboys are projecting their defense. They're all of a sudden without their top 3 cornerbacks.
Right.
And any defense, I don't care who you, Doomsday, the Steel Curtain, you lose your top 3 cover corner guys, and Trevon Diggs, Anthony Brown, and Jordan Lewis. All those guys were out at the time. I know Diggs came back. He looks like he's fine. But still, if the Cowboys are going to get to where they think they can get, their offense is fine, their defense, they've got to have plays made by Kelvin Joseph, Nashawn Wright, and Deron Lamb. Guys that back in Oxnard we were like, these are special teams, but now they got to make plays.
Yeah.
If they can, this defense will get back on track.
Yeah.
You know, but also don't look now. Micah Parsons is doing a lot of things, a lot of talking, a lot of appearances.
Talking.
Hadn't touched a quarterback in 2 weeks. He's got to get back to doing what he does best.
That's a very good point. Okay, Richie, I'd love it if you would finish this sentence for me.
I shall.
The Dallas Cowboys will make a long playoff run if ... And notice I said long playoff run, not Super Bowl run.
Why wouldn't you say Super Bowl?
I'm not going to put that out there yet. I think we got to finish regular season, then we can start talking.
It's like the boogeyman. Don't talk
Yeah,
about
I'm
it.
just
Don't
going
talk
to
about
say
it.
long. I'm not going to say Lombardi Trophy.
They've got to have consistency in the running game, and they've been great with Tony Pollard with his burst plays, and that's amazing. You need that. And you've got Dalton Schultz on third down. You've got playmakers, but there's going to be a game when you play at San Francisco in the mud against a great defense, and you've got to say, bells and whistles, forget about it. Let's punch them in the mouth and have a 7-minute drive.
Yeah.
And you can convert those 3rd and 1s.
Right.
And I think I don't have proof of this, but this is just kind of a gut feeling.
Yeah.
Dak Prescott is healthy. Dak Prescott can still run. We haven't seen any RPOs, any options.
It's true.
I think the Cowboys are saving that for the playoffs.
Yeah.
When there's
They're
a
going to
third,
hit you with it when
when
you
there's a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and
Right.
1, it's you got to fear Zeke up the middle behind those earth movers. But I think Dak on the edge. That play is going to get them a big first down going forward, and it has to.
Yeah, and I think you're onto something there because they wouldn't want to run that now before the playoffs, and then Dak re-injures an ankle or whatever.
You don't want to save a game against the Texans exposing your playoff play.
Yeah, exactly.